This podcast is brought to you by Pragmatic Solutions, the leading iGaming PAM platform with a modular approach, including many benefits like a fast, secure, and scalable API-based platform, integrated with all major third-party products and services. Make sure you head over to Pragmatic Solutions and join our smart thinking.
And bingo, bango, bongo. We are live here on the iGaming Next podcast. And today we have with us Olga Resiga, CBDO of SoftSwiss, and Carla Dualib, Business Development Manager, Brazil for SoftSwiss. Olga, how are you doing today, first and foremost?
Doing great. Having a really busy day, but feeling very excited about our podcast.
Fantastic. It's great to have you here. And thank you for taking the time, of course, to come on board here in this busy times. I know it's just before SBC Barcelona in the time of this recording, so I know you guys are super busy right now. And Carla, you are over in Brazil. I love your necklace. You have the Brazil necklace going on there. How is everything in Brazil so far? Can you give a report?
Yes, I'm very happy. I'm a little bit nervous, I can confess for you both, but I'm very happy to be with you today. Thank you very much.
Yeah, so we were speaking about this before here, of course. And like the nervousness is like going on a roller coaster when you do this podcast. But nonetheless, when you start, it's always a fun roller coaster. So the reason why we're doing this podcast today... The reason why we're doing this podcast today is, of course, that we are talking about the Brazilian market, and particularly to understand the Brazilian player a little bit better. Brazil is obviously a very hot market right now. It's just about to become regulated. Some good news on that front today. Many operators are looking at Latin America, but Brazil in particular right now. And so I thought it would be great to have you guys as experts here today to understand the market a little bit better and what operators need to think about if they want to enter this market. So my first question, Carla, is for you. You know, obviously, as an expert in the Brazilian market, what makes a Brazilian player different from other players in Europe or even other Latin American countries, would you say?
Well, thanks for the question, Pierre. So the Brazilian is different from the others in several ways. I think most Latin American players loves to bet in the mobile. First of all. And another thing that I think is really important is the passion for football. Because the passion for the football, it's a kind of a particular of our culture, you know. It's not the surprise that we love football. Is the most popular betting that we have that when it comes in sports betting here in Brazil. So we know that Brazil is the country of the football. There's other point that's really important here. The local players in casino slots tend to place small bets. If we compare with the European online casino players who bet regularly, and the sums is really larger if compared with the Brazilian. So there are other points that I think that's really interesting here in Brazil, in Latin America. Bingo and fishing games are really popular. With this, we can understand a little bit more about the players. They prefer this game. And we are really pleased to say that here in SoftSwiss, we have the game aggregator. We can offer this kind of variety of fishing games and for our partners. Am I sure, Olga, if you can complement? I don't know if you can.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you here. So that's what we have in terms of not only game aggregation. We have different other solutions, but we are also really, really interested in exploring what Brazilian player means for Brazilian operator and for those who want to approach this market as well.
Absolutely, yeah, it's exciting times right now. And Olga, just staying on that topic for a moment, why do you think the Brazilian market is so hot right now? And what would you say are the expectations on the market moving forward?
Yeah, that's true. And everybody knows that the Brazilian gaming market is currently experiencing significant growth and becomes increasingly attractive for operators. And I would say there are several reasons for that. Of course, large and growing population. Brazil is the fifth most populous country in the world, having more than 250 million people. So it's provide a substantial consumer base for the gaming industry. And of course, I'd love to mention the increase in internet and mobile penetration. The country internet penetration rate has been steadily rising, reaching around 70% of population. So with more people having access to the internet, this is the potential user base for online gambling. And for sure, smartphone penetration, the ease of access to online gaming through mobile apps has contributed to the growth of the gaming market. What else? What else? Economic potential. Brazil is considered one of the largest economy globally with the growing middle class. So this definitely increased purchasing power and gives an access to the more entertainment and the gaming activities. And of course, regulation, which is coming, and I would say has already come. So it draws more operators' attention to the topic for sure.
Yeah, it's almost like a perfect storm coming together now in Brazil. As you point out there, there's like many factors that are now coming together to make these markets really interesting for the operators, of course. And as you point out here in the end, Olga, you mentioned regulation is happening as well. So, Carla, I want to pass the ball over to you here. What is the current status of the Brazilian upcoming regulation here? We have some news today, really interesting, of course. But can you go more into detail? What's the current status there?
Yes, we have some news last night. It was pretty news that we have with the regulation here in Brazil. We have news in kind of regulation because last night the deputy just established that we can go through this. We have the taxes around 18%. They involved all of the casino on the same round. So we have all the betting and the casino on the same. How can I say, Olga? Please, can you help me with this? We have not only the online betting casino companies with 18%, but we have also the casinos in the same basis. As I can understand. And they established also that the performance of these companies around must be the value of the 30 million reais valid for 3 years also. This is another point that's really important. Before it was 5 years. These 2 points that's really important for the companies, for the operators, as I understood. Do you agree, Olga? I think
for sure.
It's really 2 points that's really, really important.
And I would love to add that if the income tax of 18% sounds quite logical and doesn't stand out much in comparison with other local regulations, more interesting here is actually the tax on winnings and prizes, which was designated at 30%. In other countries, such taxes are usually equivalent to a capital gains tax. This raises a question of what areas of Brazil still have taxation of this magnitude. As practice shows, any such taxes and any infringement of the interest of players leads to outflow to offshore zones. Currently, there are a large number of brands that, for example, use the Curacao license.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting with the regulation. It seems like the good news is that online gambling, casino is now included in the regulation. But then on the other hand, there's a lot of challenges still with the regulation, tax-wise, and the large license fee, and it's difficult for the larger operator or for operators perhaps to find profitability in the market. It'll be interesting to see how it now develops here.
They have to adapt themselves to this new moment, but they will.
Yeah. No, I would hope so as well. Carla, just continuing with you here as well. You mentioned in our prep call here something really interesting that I found that more women gamble online in Brazil than most other countries. Why do you think that is?
Wow, I was telling to Olga that I really love this term, and I really love it. 50% of the football fans are women. And I think
that's amazing.
It's amazing, and I think it's a good beginning for our talk here, don't you think? Because here in Brazil we have the majority of the population also composed per women, almost 52% also, and look, we have great football players such Marta, Formiga, great volleyball and basketball, and many others that we have great players like Bia Haddad, tennis player. We have others one like we can tell that represent us. Like I don't know if you heard about Djamila Ribeiro. It's a great philosopher, teacher, and a social activist. We have also great influencers like singers like Anitta, Ludmilla, Ivete Sangalo, Maria Rita, and others that already passed away like Rita Lee, Gal Costa, Elis Regina. So we have a lot of great women that for sure had great influences in us as women. So I think because of this process of female empowerment that is happening recently, women has been the increased as decision makers in our market. They started going to the stadium and watching games more and more after the World Cup that happened here in Brazil. So the sports sponsorship increased a lot for the female athletes. Thanks God for this. Could be better and one day. And this World Cup here in the last one had an audience never seen before. So I think all of this environment became more familiar, and this engagement in games naturally increased the brands to create and involve women in the contest. And because of this, I think it's natural that the betting became more familiar for the woman and they start playing. I just mentioned, I was talking with Olga before, I just mentioned some kind of case studies that I know, and I can talk a little bit with you. Avon, for example, did a campaign with our football player Marta a few years ago during not this World Cup, but the last one. They launched a lipstick Power Stay Avon with a campaign Came to Stay to generate integration between the largest football player, Marta, with the attributes of the product, for example. It's a nice campaign. And they sold a lot of this lipstick. They engaged all of the population. It was pretty nice campaign. There's another one for Under Armour. I don't know if you heard about, calls I Will What I Want. It's a nice campaign to engage athletes that doesn't start practicing the activity so young. And they starting with a ballerina called Misty Copeland. And I think the last celebrity that started working with this campaign, it was our supermodel, Brazilian supermodel called Gisele Bündchen with them. So there's a lot of examples that we can put and discuss that goes about how we can empower the women nowadays. And I think because of this, the women make a part of our betting issue. And more than this, Olga, I think, can you complement with? But women take decisions. Women works a lot. We have a lot of incredible business women here in Brazil and around the world, and we take decisions. We pay the bills. We have our I have, for example, two daughters, and we work together. We go to the stadium together. We bet together, and I think we make the difference at the end. That's it.
Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, go ahead, Olga, please.
Yeah, I just want to say that's kind of women power in Brazil.
Amazing. Women power around the world. We are very proud in IGMNX actually. Out of the 40 people workforce we have I think we have like 5 Latin Americans, not Brazilians necessarily, but Latin Americans in our company as well, and it's a big part of our success as well. All female, by the way, working super hard, and I can vouch for the fact that you guys are super hard workers for sure. So Carla, you mentioned as well the great football culture in Brazil, of course, and this is what, from an outsider, what we see as Brazil's, staple, the fact that you guys are football fanatics over there. Can you talk more about how that football culture kind of influences online gambling as well?
Yes, I can. I'm a fanatic for football. My grandpa was a president of a huge club here in Brazil. Olga knows about this during a lot of years, and I'm a fanatic fan, so I can talk with
which club are you a fan of?
Corinthians Football Club, Corinthians Club. It's one of the biggest. I think it's the biggest here in Brazil, but that's it. As football fans are really emotionally invested in their favorite teams here, which can lead, in my opinion, to impulsive betting decisions. For sure, the passion for sport make the fans susceptible to make the bets based on their passion, on their heart, harder than rational analysis. So, in my opinion, again, there are so many influencers that usually engage communities in online gambling. Their friends, fellow friends are really involved. People may feel inclined to participate. And here in Brazil, all the football clubs actually have a sponsor of a bet company. They promote online gambling to a broader audience of a football enthusiasts. Again, in my opinion, there are so many brands. And when you see the football game, it's a mess of information. If you like to gamble, you possibly will decide for a company that has the best bonus, the best payment method, the best experience, and you are looking for save it, you are looking for experience, you are looking for the best platform, you are looking for a soft Swiss, for example, and behind the scene, Don't you think, Olga?
Yeah, absolutely agree here. The first thing I knew about Carla was actually all about football, I would say. That was the hottest topic between us, and the discussion was all around it.
Yeah.
If you want to be friends with Carla, then it's like sharpen up the football skills, basically. That's it.
Yes.
But, something also that came to our prep call here is the fact that even though Brazil is the home of football. Sorry to any English people who are watching now, but Brazil is the home of football.
But we are still, for
sure. Still, 80% of revenues in online gambling in Brazil comes from casino, not sports betting. So, Olga, can you talk maybe why that is, do you think?
Yeah, sure. So we actually, as a Softswiss, has a strong casino background. So we definitely understand why it happens. Brazilians generally have a strong affinity for casino games, which may be influenced by country's historical ties to gambling and entertainment. The allure of casino games with the variety and potential for large payouts may make them more popular among the Brazilian population. What else? I would say that online casinos usually have more aggressive marketing campaigns. and different strategies, as well as more advanced bonusing system and promotional campaigns to attract new players. I would say that actually more and more operators who were initially sports betting, local Brazilian operators, now in negotiations with SoftSwiss and to add gaming portfolios through our game aggregator to their websites. Because everybody understands that it gives wider range of entertainment in the website. And this diversity of options may attract more players and for sure generate higher revenues compared to sports betting alone. With all respect to sports betting.
Yeah, exactly. Brilliant, Olga. And obviously, SoftBet, you guys are pioneer on the crypto side as well, and you're powering some of the major crypto casinos, of course. And so, what place does crypto gambling have in Brazil? Do you think, Olga?
The share of crypto gambling is growing 100%. This year in June, the president approved the legal use of cryptocurrencies in Brazil. So I would say it provides a secure and anonymous way for people to participate in online gambling activities. So I don't know, like while traditional forms of gambling are strictly regulated in Brazil, cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin offer an alternative way for players to engage in online gambling platforms. So this topic is very relevant for us, as SoftSwiss was the first one to launch a crypto casino. Here we have a lot of expertise, not only technical in terms of having various tools in our products, but also global crypto business experience. And for sure, we are ready to share it with local operators. And I'm sure you know, under SoftSwiss umbrella, there is a Coinspace, the biggest crypto processing in iGaming industry. So we're all up to it and know, I would say, almost everything about it.
Brilliant. You should be arrogant to business. I like it. Carla, jumping over to you again, say that you are an operator now and you're obviously seeing all this hype that is taking place in the Brazilian market, and you decide that you want to enter the Brazilian market. As an operator, what are like the most important things to understand as an operator if you want to consider to launch in the Brazilian market?
This is a great question, Pierre. There's good things that we have to consider to enter in Brazil as an operator. And I have very good topics that we have to talk. First of all, stay informed about every legal and regulatory framework about the online gambling in Brazil. This is the first topic, I think. It's the most important one. After this, you have a lot of things to do. But first of all, be informed about the legal and the regulatory one. Then you have to have a great and strong relationship with local partners to understand about the Brazilian market. For sure, you have to understand about the Brazilian market. It's crucial that you have great relationship to navigate in our market, to understand about the consumer preferences, to understand how the things happens here in Brazil, because it's completely different than other places in the world. You have to understand the consumer. You have to understand how the Brazilian gamblers gamble. No, you have to recognize their preferences. You have to understand what's more popular or not. You have to understand about the audience. You have to understand specifically about the football. You have to understand about Brazil market. You have to understand more things about, for example, about the preference about the mobile. Because most of the transactions happens during their transportation home to work home, because there are long journeys to this way. There's another point that I think that's important, and I'm sure that Olga agrees with me. There's about the marketing strategies for the Brazilian consumers. I think that's really important. That you have to be accorded to the regulation and this according to the culture is sensitivities to the Brazilian culture. I think this is really important too. Other thing that I think is really, really important, and we do as SoftSwiss very well, is to be customer centric. They have to be very worried about the customer support in Portuguese. You have to worry about your customer all the time. And for sure, with SoftSwiss, you can provide the best platform, the best infrastructure, the best technology. We are crypto ready, as Olga said. And another thing that I think is really, really important, you cannot forget the responsible gaming, the best practices. How can you concern this? How can you talk about this with your consumers? And the thing that's really important to develop the best business and solid business plan. And we can help with this for sure. Do you have something more to complement, Olga? I don't know if I talk step by step, but there's a lot of things.
Yeah, that was quite interesting and step by step. So I have nothing to add, I would say here. That was very good, Carol.
Brilliant. I want to, as a final thing here today, I want to just, you touched on it here a little bit, Carla, kind of like how SoftSwiss can assist operators to successfully enter the Brazilian market. But Olga, I want to start on your side, and then maybe Carla can finish as well. So Olga, how can you guys assist operators?
I think we can book at least 30 minutes for these questions, but I'll try to be short here.
For sure.
Here's the pitch. Yes, here's the pitch. Yeah. The CBDO, ladies and gentlemen. Let's hear the pitch.
Yes, for sure.
This
30 minutes is not too much.
Yes.
Yeah, but let's say when we started to explore the Brazilian market, we were surprised a bit, as we are understand, because I don't know, historically, SoftSwiss platform and SoftSwiss solutions were built in mind that it should be designed to handle heavy loads. And it should be scalable. And once we entered the market, we understand that it might be an issue for the local providers to provide such a quality. And we are actually happy to highlight that we are ready to high loads. We have local infrastructure to optimize it, and actually it has been tested and practiced by the main players in the sector. So I would say that we have customer-centric approach, and we absolutely focused on our partner success. So we do understand what's needed to be a good support for the operator, because they are main in the field, and we try to make their daily operations 100% comfortable with us. We provide them with the top-notch solutions and business supports, business insights. And what was also surprising for me, we were like the first one, and our marketing department was the first one to make a market research and share it with operators, and even local operators thanked us for sharing this information because it was not in their mind. So we are ready to bring our expertise. We are ready to bring our soul, actually, to the Brazilian operators, and to share all the business points we have. Because our goal is actually to grow our partners' business. Because we grow together, we are able to create a winning combination with them. So I would say that each and every product we have, based on our research, is top-notch, especially in this market, technically, first of all, and then of course, our business approach. I'm sure you know we had a couple of prizes won for our customer treatment. So we have lots in mind, actually, new products. For example, our not so new already, but quite popular jackpot aggregator, which brings fresh, fresh air to the industry, and it influence on players heavily. So on their engagement, first of all, and we don't see competitors in this field. So actually, being modular and being one-stop shop, we can create an ecosystem for Brazilian iGaming operators or share a part of our ecosystem to improve their business. Maybe, Carlo, you want to add something?
My God, Olga, you said almost everything. Yes, you said almost everything. We have a lot of things to do about SoftSwiss. How can we help? But I think the main points, and I can say it again, is that we have the best infrastructure here. We are customer centric, and we have the best products to offer. And as a team, we are here to help and as partners to solve everything. And here in Brazil, I'm here to not only to help, but as a team to build together the best solution with you both. So Olga already said everything. I'm here with Olga, with all our team to help. And we, for sure, we are the best solution in the market. I'm completely sure about this. That's it.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, guys. And I can just say this as well. It's been great to get to know SoftSwiss during the year 2023 here. We are having the pleasure of interviewing quite a few of you guys, and I've always been impressed on the fact that you have so many individuals in the team that have so deep knowledge about what you do and about the industry. And it's not that many companies where you find that. Sometimes it's very difficult even to find one person to do this interview. It's let alone 7 or 8 that I've done this year. So it's been an absolute pleasure. But nonetheless, Olga, Carla, this has been super fun. I hope you enjoyed it as well. Some really great learnings and lessons here on the Brazilian market and player. And good luck in Barcelona next week. And I will see you in Malta in a couple of months. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks, Pierre. It was a pleasure.
Thanks for the opportunity. It's very nice.